Hey guys, it's me, Princess, gangsta, all that okay, right? Okay. Anyways, before we get started, make sure that you like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell your bald-headed granny, a bearded king that you know, and a pretty bad John to come over here and listen because I got a lot of stuff to talk about that you can learn from. So, yeah, I know I ghosted y'all, but don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. It was the summertime. And, whatever, I'm here. And I've been trying to record this video like 3 different times. So we're just going to get to it. And that's it. Okay, y'all? So boom. Okay. Let's really get comfortable. Shout out to my brother's Nike bag. He ain't getting that back. He's not getting that back. Okay. So, y'all. Like I said, I didn't try to make this video so many times and we're just going to get comfortable at this point. Y'all, so boom. Tell me why I was dealing with this old man. I was dealing with this old man for like a year. No, we never had no type of sexual relations. No. Okay, we never did none of that. I never even let him hold my hands. And we never fucked. I never sucked his dick. Okay? So, with all of that being said, let's just get to the story, dog. I'm so tired of telling this story. It's not even this story. I'm just tired of trying to record, dog. Like, okay. Okay. Let's tighten up. Act like I'm not overstimulated. Okay, so anyways, y'all. So like a week ago, the old man had called me crying. It was a Thursday night. I'll never forget because I was on the phone with my 2 best friends. So I was on the phone with Reese and I was on the phone with Pooh. Shout out to y'all. I love y'all. I love them damn real bad. I love them. So anyway, I was on the phone with the both of them. Then the old man had called my phone. I was like, hold on, y'all. It's the old man. So I answered the phone. He's calling. He's crying on the phone. We're talking boo-hoo, tears, out of breath. Like you would have thought that it was the apocalypse that came, okay? Baby. Shout out to you, Kyrie, for the vape. You're not getting it back because you're disrespectful also. But that's a different topic. We'll talk about that in a second, about that disrespectful piece of poop. Anyway, so the old man, he calls me, he's crying, he's out of breath. And at first I'm like so scared for him because I'm like, oh my God, like he has health ailments. Like he's decrepit, you guys, he's decrepit. And he's just going through it. He's just going through it. And like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I wanted to actually be there for him. But mind you, it's 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock, something like that. I can't leave my household because I have children and my children need to go to school the next day. Mind you, the next day is Friday. So being that it's Friday, like, you know, let's go. You feel where I'm coming from? I keep them on their routine. So he's like, oh, he had got robbed and kidnapped. Can I say that on YouTube? Can I say that on YouTube? He had got adult napped because he's adult and hoodwinked, whichever, robbed. So I'm like, oh my God, how did that happen? I'm like, just sit down, catch your breath. This man starts vomiting profusely. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm calling the cops. Like, where are you at? Send your location. I didn't even want to hear the story at the point. He's like, no cops. I'm like, sir, you're 60. Your leg's finna fall off. You're diabetic. Like, I'm calling the cops and I'm calling the EMC. Okay? So he was all right. He was all like, no. I'm finna walk home. I'm like 8 miles from my house. 8 miles from your house, bro. You're in Cedar Creek. That's more than, that might be 8 miles, but still, you ain't getting nowhere on that hobble leg. And I'm not trying to be funny or disrespectful, but like, let's make it make sense. So I'm like, so call an Uber. And he's like, oh, I tried to call an Uber and there's no request. So I look up on my Uber and I look up on Lyft. And guess what? There's literally a bunch of cars everywhere. There's cars like everywhere in the area. So I'm like, mad sketchy. That's sus, bro. So whichever, so I sent him a screenshot like, bro, you capping right now. Get to it and send me your location at the same time. So he sends me a location. Bull's in the middle of the woods. In the middle of the woods. So I'm like, what the fuck this nigga got going on? So I'm like looking on the maps and I'm like, okay, there's a rest stop right there, so go to it. Pause. Look at my nails. Shout out to Adasia. I love her so much. And let me tell you guys something. This is maybe like the 4th, 5th time her doing my nails, but when I say I love this girl, I love her damn. Like, she's baby sis to me at this point, and I love her so bad. And I know y'all love me having ADHD, but I peeped my nails. She did me some duck nails, and I love them really, really bad. And it's just like the more we get to know about each other, and I don't know, I love her so much, and I appreciate her soul, and I appreciate her mama for making her. But okay, so boom, back to that. So he's at the rest site, and I'll put her information like down on the bottom. So anyways, so we go to the rest station. Well, we don't go. I'm home. But I tell him to go to the rest station because I'm on my phone and I'm like, okay, boom, like go to the rest station, boom. And I'm like, I'm gonna call you back because I'm not gonna lie, I was having a conversation with my friends. So I wanted to go back on the phone with my friends. And I was like, okay, you get to the rest stop, you get yourself an Uber, and then you finna call me, right? Because he's already like, no, I don't want an Uber, I just wanna walk, I wanna walk. Okay, you're grown. I don't have time to go back and forth with you. You get where I'm coming from? So I had called him back because I had to tell my homeboys like what had happened. I was like, I'm gonna call y'all back because old man had got robbed and kidnapped. They're like, that sounds mad sus. And you know your guy friends, they ain't finna lie to you. So boom. So I had called him back and I'm like, wait, what had happened? He tells me, oh, it was 2 guys at my door. They was knocking. They had told me that they had left something in the car, that my neighbor had left something in the car a couple weeks ago. And I'm like, buddy, nobody's been in your car for weeks unless I don't know about that, but that's your life and I don't care. And he was like, well, I was like, so how'd they get to your car? He was like, so I opened up the door, I went to go walk to the car, and the keys were on the table. Mind you, how was your keys on the table and you walked to the car? That ain't none of my business, whichever. He was like, well, the one guy had ran into the house, took the keys, and then he had got in. So boom, this is where the story gets weird. This man tells me that it was 3 guys and not 2. Now I'm like, okay, so what happened to this? And he was like, oh, wait, I mean, it was 3. It was 3 black guys. It was 3 black guys. And I'm like, you got cameras at your house? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, pull the camera up when you get back to the house. Send me some videos. You feel where I'm coming from? Whichever. So he goes ahead and tells me that they pretty much, the three alleged men go ambush him into the car. They ambush him to the car. And then the one guy's driving and I'm like, okay, so where was you sitting at? He was like, I was sitting in the middle. And I said, okay. I said, what were they talking about? Like, why they drive you all the way out there? And he's like, he doesn't know why they did it. And I'm like, okay, so how did you get out of the car? And he was like, he pretty much jumped out of the car. Now, mind you guys, this is like a 300 plus something man. So I really highly doubt, I highly doubt that he jumped out of a car. Do you see where I'm coming from? It sounds mad sketchy. Is all I'm saying. So he's pretty much, I'm just listening. He says he jumps out of the car. So boom, I'm on my other phone and I'm calling, and I call them folks. I called the 911 and he's like saying, please don't call them. And I'm like, no, I'm calling them because you called me and now I'm wide awake. Now I'm wide awake and now I'm fully invested in this situation that's going on, okay? So boom. So he calls so I call the EMC, I call 911, give them the description of him, and so I guess eventually he have finally got an Uber driver, because like I said, bro, why you lying? Like, he's always lying about like weird stuff. Like I said, we've never fucked. We've never kissed. We never put my tongue down his throat. I never did none of that. I never wanted to see his pickle. Okay? None of that shit. We was just chilling and that was it. We'll get on to how I had met him maybe in a different story. Okay? But anyway, so he literally, so then boom. So then the EMC just so happens to be there as the Uber driver gets to get there. But what I had thought was weird in the first place was that he was finna go on this hood Uber, Fayetteville hood Uber, to try to find a ride. And I was like, why are you trying to find a ride from hood Uber when you can call a taxi, when you can call it whatever, right? And he's just making up excuses. Now, the crazy part to me, though, is that he said that he had called the cops, right? And he said that he had reported the situation whole time. And then he said that the cops told him, oh, we're not a taxi company. We're just not finna come pick you up. So I had already knew that something was fishy. I was like, what do you mean the cops didn't come get you? Because if the cops have came, you would have told them that you were robbed. or kidnapped, they definitely would have came, because that's just crisis. That's what the police officers are here for. Only reason I'm talking about fast is because I'm so tired of telling this freaking story. So he says that he called the cult. He said that he calls them folks and that they didn't ever come to him. And that they said that they wasn't finna come to him. And I already thought that that was mad weird. Okay. So at that point, I'm like, I'm not even believing it, but I'm gonna get you an ambulance and I'm gonna call the cops, whichever, right? So he telling me like, oh, well, I'll just make a report in the morning. I'll go to the hospital in the morning. I was like, but you should go to the hospital now. You should go to the hospital now, bro. Like, you really should go. So boom, he ends up getting back to his house. And it's like, at this point, we're talking like till 3 in the freaking morning. So boom, the very next day, me and my homegirl, we went to go dash and stuff like that. Went to go handle our little business, have our little coffee, you know, bada bing, bada boom type vibes. And he tells me, like, I don't know, he's just mad creepy. Like, when I would be with people and stuff, he would just start getting like mad jealous and stuff like that. And so when I had, little did he know, my sister, who's it's not like my blood sister, but you know, she's sis, and she had told me, she was like, girl, are you okay? Because, you know, I had told her what happened last night. So she had called her ex, who's like an FBI agent or something like that. And he had said there was never no police report made, and that there was never no car reported stolen. So the old man had lied. The old man lied, okay? He's not knowing that I know about the lie, right? So he's like, oh, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm dashing. Like, I'm outside. I'm with my friend. Looking cute. Duh. So anyways, because like at that point I was disgusted, and I was like, you lied. I said there was never no police report or nothing. And then he was like, oh, I'm at the hospital right now. I'm going to do a police report later, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, ew, you are a sick individual. You are really, really, really sick individual. So I don't know if like he would tell these fabricated stories to try to get to get empathy from me or something like that, or whichever it was. But at that point, it was done. At that point, I was just done. I was like, whatever. So he decides to send me a video of him in the hospital, right? So I had called the hospital. They tell me, oh yeah, he's in room, yeah. So I had called the room. He didn't answer it, which I really didn't care at that point, because I was just done. I was done because I was like, this man is a full-blown psychotic liar. And I've been trying to get rid of him and get away from him for the longest. But like y'all already know, some people just cling like a parasite. Like a freaking parasite, okay? So boom. So then later that day I had told him, no, then the next day, I tell him, oh, I had got my iPad. This is not the iPad. But I was like, I had got my daughter the iPad. And he was like, oh. So then he was like, well, they found my car. So, sir, how did you find your car all of a sudden? You found your car. And it's crazy because whenever I would do stuff for myself, he would just always get like really, really, really mad or something. And he was like, oh, it's funny because I have found my car. So, yeah, you're a full-blown liar. Like, that was mad creepy to me. So at that point, I was just like, yeah, please don't call me again. Just kind of like, just leave me alone at this point. That's what I was thinking in my head, because like super weird, but I was happy for him because like I said, I didn't know if it was true or false or whichever it may be. You feel where I'm coming from? And he's all like, what did he have to say? He was like, yeah, I found my car. And I was like, well, great. That's amazing. Like, I'm very happy for you. Then he's like, I'm moving to the beach. I'm leaving everybody behind. And I'm like, okay, you need to do what you need to do, because if you have people coming after you and chasing you, then you know that's that. So then he comes to tell me, he pretty much is like, I actually think that it was one of my ex's friends or something like that. I think it was one of my ex's friends or something like that I had to give him a ride to before. And I was like, so you're just now starting to think that? You're just now starting to? So whichever, I really didn't care. So I'm telling him like, you know, that's really good that you found your car. And he gets mad that like I'm happy for him. He's mad that I'm happy for him. Like, bro, are you that sick and twisted? So then I'm telling him, well, you need to get rest. You found your car, get some rest, right? Boom. So that next day, I was looking up at blenders or something like that. I was looking up blenders, like a slushy ninja joint. And I was like, well, he said that he has all these ninjas and stuff. I just wanted to see a picture of exactly what type of one he has, because he has like all the food stuff or whichever, right? And he was like, oh, I'm being lazy on the couch. Mind you, it shows where your location is because I guess he must have forgot that he was still sharing his location with me. And on the top, it said like Hope Mills. Bro, you live in Fayetteville. So I look on the joint and he's in the middle of the woods. Once again, this man's in the middle of the woods. So I call him on FaceTime. This man is shirtless. Actually, he's naked. This man's naked in the woods, y'all. He's naked in the woods. And then he gets mad at me because I'm like, what are you doing in the woods naked? I thought you was at the house. He was like, oh, I'm in my backyard because I wanted to see if the robbers had left some evidence or something like that out back. And I'm like, what you mean, bro? Like, you're far away from your house, dude. You're far away from your house. And so he's rushing. Like, you can see him walking mad fast. He has a phone and it's all like you know, in the scary movie, like wrestling and shit like that. Girl, boy. Okay, boy, bye. He's like, oh, why are you asking me these questions? I'm like, why are you naked in the woods? What are you doing naked in the woods? And he says that he was pooping, y'all. He says that he was pooping in the woods. I don't believe it. So if y'all want to hear the rest of the story, if you tell me what y'all think. I don't think he was pooping in the woods. I don't know. And I don't care to know. But I'm just saying at that point, I knew that I was done. So that is for that story. But yeah, that's done. That's a dead situation. That is a done situation. And I love y'all. And what do y'all think he was doing? Why do y'all think he was lying like that? That was mad creepy. And it made me just not want to be around him for the safety of myself because I'm like, if you say that you had got robbed and kidnapped, I don't want to, that's not the type of man that like I want to be around. I want to be able to be protected and provided for. And you can't even protect yourself. So how you going to protect me?